welcome back everyone to some 7 Deadly Sins, and you know, as of recently we've talked about some 7 Deadly Sins, and I'm happy to finally begin the first and a proper review and all that. And what a perfect time to start off with this review than talking about with a chapter with the bae of the entire series, Merlin, and just how hacked ass broken this chick is, finding out a lot of stuff about her and her true identity. So we start off straight off in this chapter. We get to see that Merlin's there trying to deal with Grey Road, and immediately it's like you get to see like how just like trying to protect, like you're like Merlin going, "No, I'll protect you, my lady," like that. And it's just like, oh, we gotta be careful of this human though. And then immediately using the Grey Road magic and all that to do the 5 lost, which pretty much just takes all of your 5 senses, and like how just like they're like, "Oh, I don't regret anything. Oh, please tell my mom and my father." And like Merlin's just there like, it's just like, this is interesting and all that. His 5 senses are gone, and she's like, oh, for God's sake, look what you've gone and done. What am I gonna do with, like, you know, taking the brunt of the magic spell that I was getting ready to analyze for myself? And she's just like, well, say some words and do it out and all that. And it's just like, and like, I do kind of like the one funny bit is like when he gets up so fast, he fucking like takes Hendriksen's like right in the chin like that. It's like, he's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, it still feels weird that like this is what Hendriksen has become. He's become a joke. Like, it's so weird to me. It's like, this guy was the fucking big villain, and now look at him, he's a scrub, and he's like just everyone's bitch now, and it just feels so weird to me at all. And it's just like, well, the Grey Road's like she's completely confused. Like, she dispelled our magic in an instant. It's just like this one's got okay. There's like using another part and all that's like this soul swarm of like insects. And it's just like, oh, I guess I'll deal with the insects. And it's like, no, Merlin, don't do that. It's like literally fires like this giant energy ray known as Extreme Ray, just like goes out and just hits and like takes out one of like Grey Road's face and just blows it up, and like a big part of the castle. It's just like, you're finished now and all that. Like, since you actually like hit my, you know, my commandment, thou shalt not kill and all that, and without fail and all that, you're stolen time until you crumble to dust. And it's just like, Merlin, you know what's happening? It's just like, but she's completely fine. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. How is she able to actually get away with this and all that? It's like, how is she actually able to use this form and all that? And it's like, you know, stealing away someone's time in layman per, like, you know, you have to have all those remaining years taken from them. While your commandment is indeed intriguing, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that ain't affecting me because I ain't exactly really human, like, for the part. And it's just like, and like, Barn's like, wait, then you're not like human and all that? And it's like, I'm not immortal like you though, Barn, and all that. I'm in a different like situation. It's just like, let me just explain to you a story and all that. Experiments, research, tests, they take time. Sheer volume, trial and error, and by that time and all that, there's more and more experiments and more stuff and all that. You can be like buried in your work and all that. And so like a human life is just too cruel and all that, and so finite and limited. And it's like, so it occurred to me, all I need to do is just stop my own time. And everyone's just like, stop your, like, how the fuck can someone stop their own time and insert themselves like growing and all that? And it's just like, and all I gotta do and all that, it's just like, it takes a sheer amount of power and all that, you know, like, to do this and all that, and it's just like, this is what my ability makes me do, and it's infinity. Now, we've known about infinity for a while, actually, with Merlin, like, being able to do it, but we didn't know the exact, like, actual rules behind infinity, and it's just like, this is the power. No matter how powerful a magic is, all I need to do is invoke it once, and I can keep flames burning, or ice frozen, or time stopped for an eternity. As long as I do not release this spell, everyone, like, you know, like, this is, like, the only kind of thing to do. Like, as long as I don't release spells and all that, I should be completely fair, like, you know, with all this stuff and all that. And that's the thing where it's like, that seems like that could be something to actually deal with Merlin, where it's like, you've got to force her to release spells in some way, where it's like, oh, this scenario is actually going to fuck everyone up and all that. And it's just like, this is the thing where that can't be, like, beat Merlin. So it's like, oh, what do you have there to say? And everyone's just like, this is so fucking unfair. This is just so much bullshit. Like, as everyone just thinks about this and all that, it's just like, wow. And it's just like, Dreyfus is just like, you keep becoming more and more like a bitch every time I see it. It's like, never mind your magic powers border on cheating and all that. Like, it's like, it does explain how you're able to release yourself from, like, Gaara, which was the big question. It's just like, it took me a lot of time and all that, and it's like, basically, I regained my composure, and I realized, like, I have actually had a little bit of resistance to commandments for a while and all that, and it's like, I am like completely forgotten my true identity, which is none other than Bellion's daughter as the Ten Commandments, I'm sure that name rings a bell and resonates with you. And they're like, what the fuck, Bellion? Like, you know, like they go, really? And it's like, my true identity and all that, my true name, it's just something that you can't even pronounce and all that. It's like, it's so unlike Family. It's just like something not even like humans can pronounce and all that. It's like, you know, it's this. So when it's like kind of like, you know, who exactly is Bellion, it doesn't sound like it's going to be like, you know, like someone like, you know, exactly and all that with coming into Meliodas' father. They're saying like, oh, it's like this some big, like massive fucking person, all that, you know, like that we've seen all that. And now the thing is though, with what we've seen with like the 7 deadly sins or the 7 demons and all that, this when Bellion and all that, I believe like it's supposed to be like burial, like that demon and all that, which I believe like it's supposed to be like one of the things that involves actual sin and all that. I'm only like imagining like burial from like Devil May Cry like 4 kind of all that. I know that there's like you've got like a bunch of like the Beelzebub, you have like Satan himself, you have Astaroth, you have like a bunch of these demons. And I'm thinking like this maybe we're leading into like the actual like you know, kind of with the next like arc and all that. If we actually go into that, is that the big thing is that we are going to actually fight the proper demons, like the actual true like incarnations of the 7 sins and all that. So we are going to see like gluttony, we are going to see, you know, like Belial, we're going to see like stuff like that. And it's like Bellion, I guess this is what it is and all that. That's what it's supposed to like. Bellion is supposed to be like burial, like I think that's what it's supposed to be and all that. So like Merlin is actually the daughter of this, and it's like the question is like she's actually part demon, and that's the thing. Is like, is that why she gravitated towards Meliodas so much as well? So it's that Meliodas is a demon as well, and that he's from like a high-ranking, you know, like you know, father demon as well. And that's so I'm kind of curious about that. It's just like even still not this thing, you know, now we've gotten broad of this conversation. It's like, and just Grey Road, just like, oh, I got to retreat and all that. It's like, oh, we got to split apart and all that. Get out of there, fuck that. And it's just like the Grey Road is just so like so fucking weak. Then you think about it, it's just like escape, and it's just like I'm just gonna do this in endless whirlwind, and she just captures Bear like Grey Road in this tube, and it's just like, I've got myself a nice little guinea pig like that. And just seeing like everyone just like as the castle is literally blown up, and just Barnes just there like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, come on. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be the immortal kind of like indestructible person here. Come on, like seeing this shit. And it's like, so I imagine now, due to this scenario, Dreyfus is gonna run like a little bitch. He's like, I'm gonna do some Joseph Joestar and just skedaddle out of there, like, you know, using the secret Joestar technique of running the fuck away, because you just can't have that. I just like, I want that to be the case and all that. It's like, you know, like with what we've seen with this, and it's like, god damn, Merlin is just nearly fucking indestructible in this case and all that, in this scenario. It's just like, she is just so goddamn powerful, and it's like, well, that's probably why they've been keeping her for a while and all that, to deal with the commandments. But I don't know, I will say Grey Road in general is probably the most disappointing out of all of the 10 commandments, because there's just literally not much to him apart from that he's just a bunch of like amalgamation of like a bunch of creatures, and it's just like, oh, that like it wasn't that really interesting. But this chapter made up for it, as it was just all about Merlin and finding out more about her, and it's just like exactly, it's like all of like the sins and all that have like been like all older than they actually are supposed to be and all that. I think like it's like all of them are all fucked up in a way and all that. So I'm kind of curious about that conversation that they're ever going to have, if like Meliodas and like, you know, Merlin actually talks about this at some point of the future and all that, about their like, you know, their family and all that. And it's like, we'll have to wait and see what exactly what's going to be happening with that. But overall, I really did enjoy this chapter. Merlin definitely going in like a boss and all that. Like, I can't wait for that. I just want to see, like, I think the only one that actually represents the actual age is probably Escanor, but then Escanor is like the fucking god king of all humans and all that. So we'll have to wait and see and all that. Like, but overall, really goddamn enjoyable chapter. Absolutely love this one. I think Merlin pulling in out all the stops and all that for this one. I will say the only thing that was disappointing about this chapter and all that was probably the fact that Grey Road was very underwhelming, like for the most part and all that. But I do think everything else made up for this chapter. The fact that we found out a ton about Merlin and like a lot of stuff and all that. Like, if that isn't a perfect chapter, I definitely would say this is a 9 out of 10 chapter. Really goddamn enjoyable. The only thing that I'd say get points down is that Grey Road's probably the weakest out of the 10 commandments, like so far and all that, because I really like Galan, like I really like some, like, you know, like a bunch of the other characters and all that. But we'll have to wait and see unless see the other 10 commandments and all that, because they've been pretty strong. But Grey Road's probably the most disappointing out of all of them, but then as well, like, the most disappointing out of the utterly fantastic chapter though. So let me know you guys in the comment section down below. That's all from me. I'll see you beautiful assholes though next time.